Hi, welcome to the next Down in a Minute. Okay, so we're going to talk now about how meanings become behaviors more. So, all of our behaviors are an expression of who we believe we are, who we believe we should be in any given particular situation. For example, when you're with your mom, whether you're in your teens or your 20s or 30s, it doesn't matter. You are dramatically different with her in your behavior than, let's say, your lover or, let's say, one of your drinking friends. Why is this? Because being with mom means this, so your behavior, therefore, has to be that. And when you get married, your behavior must be totally different because it means that you have this contract or this set of expectations on you, and those expectations come with these meanings that translate to behaviors. And what happens a lot of times is that when people become married or when people become in relationships, whether it's business, intimate, family, extended family, it doesn't really matter, even close friends, meanings don't always translate. And it never occurs to us to say, I wonder if what they mean is even remotely close to what I mean. A lot of times you get in today's society, it's far different than before because people say, what do you mean by that? Or can you tell me what that means to you? But when you're in the heat of your anger or insecurities or fears, we don't always ask those meanings. A lot of times we infer or assume. And when that happens, it becomes a terribly difficult burden because everything that person does, every aspect of their behavior, in fact, becomes part of our blueprint, right? Part of the way we see the world. When people's behaviors are ran through our filters, our meanings, there's no way for them to win because every single thing they do only corroborates what it is we feel that they did or what we feel it means. It's an interesting phenomenon, but unfortunately, most conflicts come right down to two people who observe an action, but because they have vastly different meanings of those actions, well, you're going to have, well, you did this to me. No, I didn't do that. And both are completely sincere, but one's behavior means this to this person, it means that to the other person, and therefore they become an impasse. One says, you're just trying to rationalize your behavior, trying to rationalize it and trying to get out of it. And the other one says, no, you're judging me. Again, both are correct because neither one are willing to let go of the meanings because what does meanings ultimately come from? Simple. Our identities. And in this case, if I'm the one who's been affronted, if I'm the one who's been offended, you're the one who's given an offense. Offense and defense, these are competition, right? War, basketball games. This is where offense and defense. So if you've offended me, well, unfortunately, you've created offense. You're the aggressor. And I have been offended, which means I've had to defend myself. To be honest, only an identity or an ego needs to be defended. But it doesn't really make any difference because in that moment, no one's trying to be happy. Everybody's just trying to be right. All behavior starts with people trying to be right, do the right thing. But what's right for the context oftentimes doesn't match what's right for people's blueprint, people's identity of how the world works. An interesting story before I let you go. I was on a Taoist retreat and I was going up in the Redwood Forest and the guy who was driving had his tom-tom and he was watching and he says, hey, look for a road coming up here. Should be too far ahead. So I'm looking out the window in the passenger seat and he says, it should be any minute now. I said, I'm looking. And there was no road. And he says, well, where's the road? What happened? And I said, there's no road. He's like, that's not possible. My tom-tom says there should be a road. And I looked at him and I said, are you really arguing with reality right now? The reality is there's no road. Tom be damned, there's no road. Sometimes the map does not match the terrain. But in that case, it's always the terrain that must be deferred to. It's always reality. When coming to an impasse or a conflict or anything else with a person, when you are arguing over the meaning, you're arguing over symbols on your map, your blueprint of how life should be, how the identity says it's going to go. But in reality, the map and the terrain are two different things. Always defer to the terrain. You said this and it hurt my feelings. No, the reality is I said this. How you took it and how I meant it don't match. However, the fact is I have not harmed you, but you feel harmed because of the way you took it. That's not the same. I can apologize, but I'm apologizing for not being clear, not for harming you, because I did not harm you. Whether you feel it or not, I can't change, or I couldn't help that in the first place. So that's enough on this Down in a Minute. I've taken a lot of your time. If you have any questions, you want any clarifications, please don't hesitate to comment, and I'll get back as soon as I can. If you want something more offline or private, you can always email me at lau@fourdragonschool.com. If you like this and it's helped you, or if you would like to share it and create a discussion within your own group, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on Down in a Minute.